Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost. We begin with updates from the Israel-Hamas war. At least 70 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike targeting the Al-Maghazi refugee camp in central Gaza. This is according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. It said that Israeli warplanes were bombing main roads between central Gaza, which hindered the passage of ambulances and emergency vehicles. 2 people were killed and several others injured in an Israeli airstrike in Rafah. A house in central residential square in the Tel Al-Sultan area was destroyed in the strike. The overall death toll in Gaza has exceeded 20,400. A majority of those killed are women and children. Meanwhile, another Israeli airstrike wounded several, including children, in Gaza's Khan Yunis city. Medics tended for 4 young children cramped together on one bed in the Nasser hospital. Video showed Palestinians searching through rubble for those trapped under. Some residents decried Israeli bombardment in the area, saying that it was supposed to be a safe zone. The Israeli military has ordered more Palestinians to leave their houses as it expands its ground operations in the central Gaza Strip. Their order comes despite an escalating humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip and global calls for ceasefire. The Israeli Defense Forces dropped leaflets asking refugees in central Gaza's Burej camp and surrounding areas to evacuate at the earliest. The Israeli military said it has found dead bodies of 5 Israeli hostages in a tunnel in Gaza. The army says the hostages were killed in Hamas captivity. The IDF also released a video of the tunnel. It showed a white-tiled bathroom and workroom linked by a dark concrete-lined passage. Iran's foreign minister has denied US accusations that it was involved in planning attacks by Yemen's Houthi movement and commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Iran supports the Houthis, but it officially denies arming the group. Earlier, the White House blamed Iran for being quote-unquote deeply involved in helping the Houthis seize the ships. In other news, Iranian Navy showed off its new cruise missile amid growing tensions in the region. The footage was released following accusations by the United States Department of Defense that claimed a drone launched from Iran had struck a chemical tanker in the Indian Ocean on Saturday. The Pentagon said that it was the 7th Iranian attack on a commercial shipping since 2021. There were no casualties as a result of the attack. A brief fire on board the tanker was extinguished. Turkey's Air Force conducted airstrikes in northern Iraq and Syria. They destroyed 29 targets of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK. This comes after 12 Turkish soldiers were killed in the past 2 days in northern Iraq. The PKK has been designated as a terrorist group by Turkey and United States along with the European Union. Turkey regularly carries out airstrikes in neighboring Iraq as part of its offensive against PKK militants based there. Russian and Ukrainian officials continue blame game over escalating attacks as the war nears a 2-year mark. A Ukrainian official said that 5 civilians were killed in Russian attacks on southern Kherson region. Meanwhile, Russian installed officials said that 1 person was killed in the eastern town of Horlivka after Kiev's shelling. Both Russia and Ukraine have also claimed to destroy each other's weapons and command posts in the latest battle. The Serbian capital witnessed violent protests against parliamentary and local elections that were held a week ago. Thousands gathered in Belgrade in an anti-government protest which turned into clashes with riot police. Police fired pepper spray after protesters tried to break in the Belgrade City Hall and pelted stones. The protesters demanded annulment of elections, calling them unfair. German police frisked and searched churchgoers at Cologne Cathedral on Christmas Eve. This after threats of an attack planned for New Year's Eve and in the wake of government's warnings in recent weeks about rising threat level. Earlier, German media reported that authorities in Austria, Germany and Spain received a tip-off an Islamist group intended to carry out attacks during Christmas and the New Year festivities. Taiwan has once again accused China of provocation. Taipei says it has detected 8 Chinese fighter jets crossing over the median line of the Taiwan Strait in the last 24 hours. Taiwan also said it has spotted a Chinese balloon in its airspace. China has been stepping up its missions near Taiwan as presidential elections on the island approach. China has successfully launched 4 meteorological satellites into space. Beijing said the satellites belonging to Tianmu-1 constellation entered the planned orbit. They will be mainly used to provide commercial meteorological data services. Beijing has recorded its longest cold wave since records began in 1951 as biting temperatures and snowfall continue in China's capital and other cities. Temperature recording at Beijing's Nanjia weather station rose to above 0 degrees Celsius on Sunday for the first time in days. A strong cold wave swept through most of China this month, pushing the heating capacity of some cities in the country's north to its limit. Sunday was declared the warmest Christmas Eve in the United Kingdom since 1997. Temperatures hit 15.3 degrees Celsius in Heathrow, West London. There had been speculation it could be the warmest December 24 ever, but that record remains consigned to 1931, when 15.5 degrees Celsius was recorded in Aberdeen in Scotland. On to business and tech news. Apple has reportedly opened negotiations with major news and publishing organizations. The big tech firm is seeking permission to use their material for the development of its generative artificial intelligence systems. Apple has reportedly proposed multi-year deals worth at least $50 million to license the archives of the company's news articles. ChatGPT maker OpenAI is reportedly in talks to raise a fresh round of funding. It is likely to raise the funding at a valuation of about $100 billion. The terms, valuation and timing of the funding round have not been yet finalized. The report adds that OpenAI also had discussions to raise funds for a new chip venture with Abu Dhabi-based artificial intelligence company G42. Meta Platforms, the parent company of Facebook, has been fined in Italy. This is for breaches of a ban on advertisements of gambling. The Italian watchdog has imposed a fine of more than $6 million on the tech giant. It has accused Meta of promoting betting games or games with cash prizes. US chip maker Nvidia and its employees have donated $15 million to Israel and foreign non-profit organizations. This is to support civilians affected by the Israel-Hamas war. Nvidia also said it had donated hundreds of computers to families evacuated from the north and south of Israel. It noted that the donation was the largest humanitarian fundraiser in the company's 30-year-old history. Denmark's Maersk is prepared to resume shipping operations in the Red Sea. The company said the move comes following the development of a US-led military operation to ensure the safety of commerce in the area. Earlier this month, the shipping giant suspended all its activities in the region that was following attacks by Yemen's Houthis against its ships. A Belgian court has ruled that Deliveroo courier riders should be classed as employees. It overturns an earlier judgment that was in favor of the British food delivery company. Under the new classification, the riders will enjoy more benefits like paid time off and insurance. In 2018, 28 bicycle couriers, together with unions, started a lawsuit against Deliveroo, demanding the status of an employee. Alo Holdings, the parent company of adult website Pornhub, will pay $1.8 million to the US government. This is to resolve a charge of profiting from sex trafficking. Pornhub and other adult content sites owned by Alo have come under fire for a history of negligence and in moderating third-party uploads of adult content. 197 Communications, parent of fintech platform Paytm, has reportedly laid off more than 1,000 employees at multiple units. The job cuts reportedly took place over the last few months. The move has likely affected at least 10% of the firm's overall headcount. It comes as Paytm looks to cut costs and realign its various businesses. South Korea has decided to impose a total fine of more than $20 million on two global investment banks and a local unit of one of the firms for naked short selling. Naked short selling is a notorious trading practice of a trader shorting assets without first borrowing them. This marks the nation's largest ever penalty against the illegal practice. Nigeria's central bank has lifted a ban on transacting in cryptocurrencies. In Feb 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria barred banks and financial institutions from dealing in crypto assets. This was over potential concerns of money laundering and terror financing. However, last year, the country's markets watchdog published regulations for the crypto sector. This was in efforts to find a middle ground to regulate the use of crypto assets instead of outrightly banning them. Moving to sports, and let's start with cricket. The Indian women's team beat Australia by 8 wickets in a one-off match. The game was played at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium. This was the first time in history that Indian women's team beat Australia in a test match. Australian batter Usman Khawaja has been denied permission by the International Cricket Council or the ICC to display a Dove sticker on his bat and shoes. Khawaja was seen sporting 2 Dove stickers during a net session. Previously, the ICC had fined Khawaja for wearing a black armband, calling it a political gesture towards Gaza. The ICC says that Khawaja has breached their dress code of displaying political messaging. The England cricket team have appointed West Indies all-rounder Kieron Pollard as assistant coach for the upcoming T20 World Cup. Pollard will join England's coaching staff in January next year. He will be part of the coaching staff only till the T20 World Cup, which starts in June 2024. In football, Manchester City beat Fluminense 4-0 to lift the World Cup. Julian Alvarez scored a double for Manchester City. Fluminense defender Nino scored an own goal to add to their woes. Phil Foden scored the 4th goal to seal the win for the Sky Blues. City have become the first English team to hold the Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, Super Cup and a Club World Cup all at the same time. Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Chelsea 2-1 in Sunday's Premier League match. The game was scoreless in the first half. Wolves took the lead in the 51st minute. Both teams scored a goal each in second half injury time. With the win, the Wolves are 11th in the Premier League table. They are currently 1 spot behind Chelsea but are tied at 22 points each. Arsenal drew 1-1 with Liverpool in an intense match. Both sides scored a goal each in the first half itself. Arsenal opened the tally in just the 4th minute with a strike from Gabriel Magalhaes. Liverpool equalised in the 29th with a screamer from Mohamed Salah. West Ham United beat Manchester United 2-0 this weekend. The Red Devils scored some chances to score a goal in the first half, which ended scoreless. In the second half, Jarrod Bowen and Mohamed Kudus scored for the Hammers. With the win, West Ham United have climbed to the 6th spot in the Premier League. British billionaire Jim Ratcliffe has agreed to buy 25% stake in Manchester United. The announcement comes 13 months after the club owners, the Glazer family, stated they wanted to sell their stake. The deal will be worth almost $1.3 billion. Ratcliffe will also invest $300 million into the club's home turf, the Old Trafford. In tennis, the Indian Davis Cup team will travel to Pakistan for their matches. The Indian team had objected to travelling to Pakistan due to security concerns. The International Tennis Federation has ruled against India. If the Indian team fails to travel to Pakistan, a walkover will be awarded to the host country. The last time that India's tennis team travelled to Pakistan was in 1964, where they beat the hosts 4-0. In basketball, the Detroit Pistons have equaled the NBA single-season record for most losses in a row. This comes after the Brooklyn Nets handed the Detroit Pistons a 126-115 defeat. The Pistons have now lost 26 games in a row. They joined Cleveland Cavaliers from 2010 and Philadelphia 76ers from 2013 for the longest single-season losing streak. In entertainment news, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom led the box office on the weekend before Christmas Monday. The DC and Warner Brothers superhero sequel starring Jason Momoa earned an estimated $28.1 million in its first 3 days of release in over 3,000 locations in North America. By Monday, it is projected to have around $40 million in domestic ticket sales. Travis Barker celebrated his daughter Alabama's milestone birthday. The Blink-182 drummer posted a touching tribute on Instagram as his daughter turned 18. "Being your dad is the biggest joy in the world," wrote Barker. Barker and Alabama, whom he shares with his ex-wife Shanna Mockler, enjoy a close bond. Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas's 2 daughters are celebrating Christmas and the New Year holiday in the UK with their mother. According to court documents, holiday plans for the couple's young daughters, Villia and Delphine, have been set amid their ongoing divorce. The legal papers say Joe Jonas brought the children overseas to Turner earlier this month and that they will return to New York later in January. After 4 years of marriage, Jonas filed for divorce from Turner in September this year. The annual Christmas Carol concert hosted by the Princess of Wales Kate was broadcast on Sunday as part of the Royal Carols Together for Christmas. The Princess of Wales had hosted the concert earlier this month and was joined by husband Prince William, who gave a reading during the service at the Abbey. The event featured musical performances by singer-songwriter Freya Riddings, a duet from soul artist Beverly Knight, and US singer Adam Lambert. Neil Nanda, a stand-up comedian best known for his appearances on Jimmy Kimmel Live, passed away at the age of 32. Many fans, fellow stars and comedians paid tribute on social media as the news of Nanda's passing emerged. The cause of death is not yet known.